Hi everyone, and welcome to Morning Coffee Break. I hope everybody's doing great today. It's Tuesday, April 8th. Currently it's 37 degrees. See, I told you it'd get colder again. High's only going to be 52, and it was 86 a few days ago. 34 more degrees. Isn't that crazy? 13% chance of rain today, and winds at 7 miles per hour right now. Those guys, I texted the guys that do the yard right up here, and they never replied to me or anything. So I didn't think much of that, it being a business, you know. And I didn't know when they would be over here to where I could go talk to them. But our other neighbor over here, there was some guys over there mowing her yard. So I thought, if they're not going to respond to me at all, I'll go talk to these other guys. Snooze you lose. And the ones that were doing it really weren't. They couldn't give me any information really. But I got the card of the owner, and then I talked to him, and he he seemed to like it's going to be reasonably priced, but lots of times they'll do that, and then when they get out here, they'll say, oh man, it's going to be this much. So he's supposed to be here sometime this morning, and he's gonna give me an estimate, but he said he didn't think it'd be too bad because it is convenient for them. They could mow it on the same day they mow these people's yard behind us. And that's the angle I was looking at for this other one too. And I said, that would be an advantage for y'all, is your next job's going to be right beside the other one you're doing, And he said those people were only having their yard mowed every 2 weeks, though. I thought it was getting awful tall every time. But, that's an option. He said if I had to, I could go every 2 weeks. It costs a little bit more per time, but actually it would be less a month that way. But I know how our yard looks after 2 weeks, and it grows quite a bit. So I don't know if I would do that. I just told him if he could give me a good price, that I would go ahead and probably do it every weekly, if he could give me a decent price. Then I told him, but if it's a lot higher than what I think, that we could afford, I said I'd probably have to go every 2 weeks. So he's supposed to come by and let me know, and I told him it needed mowed. It grew. Those a few days ago, it rained real good, and then it was 80-some degrees for about 3 days. It grew probably 6 inches. I swear I don't see how it grew that fast, but it did, and it's pretty bad. So I told him it really needs to be mowed. So I'm hoping to get that done today. The only problem is I got all these sticks down here. I kind of doubt they're going to want to pick up all them branches and sticks unless I paid more. That's just my guess. So what I need to do is try to get out there this morning and get as many of the biggest sticks I can out, to the road. So it's going to be busy. But I just, this is a big yard, and all those trees, there's all the time branches and limbs falling and having to take them to the road. We used to have a lot more trees out here than there are now. There used to be about 4 more, actually. Different things happen to different ones, and that's the thing about it when you got a lot of trees. You just don't want to hit your house. But anyway, I'm working on it. So then you might know, after I got done talking to him, I heard another mower. Well, it was these people up here. They came and mowed their yard, and I told Joy, I said, I'm not gonna go out there and talk to them, because they didn't even they had my text message for 3 days, and I said, if they won't even text somebody back trying to get their business, I was like, I don't know if I want to even, worry about it. I said, I've already talked to this other guy. I don't think it would be right to go up there and talk to them. And then just, if they could have gone ahead and done it or something, just to, you know, then I'd have to call that other guy back and say, sorry, you know, I appreciate your offer, but I already got somebody to do it. I don't like working that way. So I look at it as, you know, the guy called his boss, and then his boss called me. I didn't have to beg him to talk to me practically, you know, so that means a lot to me. Just right there, the impression you make before you even start a job. You know, I used to have to interview people, you know, at Coca-Cola for different things, you know, that they did. And your first impression makes a whole lot of difference. I didn't have to do that much, you know, but, you know, makes a big difference. Your first impression. And their first impression to me was that they didn't care about my business, really. So they could have at least, even if they hadn't been able to do it, they could have texted me back and said, I'm sorry, Mr. Cairns, we're full up right now, or something like that, you know, and I'd be okay. Well, I appreciate you letting me know. So I could, see, I wasted 3 days. I could have been already called this guy, you know, or something, and had them already mow it or something by the time I was waiting for these others. So I don't know if it works. Hopefully it works out with this company. They're local and stuff. I like that. Most landscaping companies are pretty local, but you know, so I'm gonna give them a chance and see how it goes. If I have to, I'll mow it myself, but I'll be in a lot of pain. So that's the only thing I'm looking at. And I don't know if they'll weed eat or what. They were weed eating some up at these people's house today. I don't know if that's more or whatever. If it's more, I could do my own weed eating. You know, if I didn't have to mow the yard, I could do a lot more other stuff. You know, so anyway, we'll see how it goes. The Lord will help us whichever way we need to go, I'm sure. So just a little aggravating. And I thought they should have called me. You know, didn't even have to call me. They could have just texted me. We're full up right now. I can't have any more customers or something. So, but this other company seems nice. The guy seems nice, you know, sincere. We'll see how it goes. Okay, today there will be a making thumbnails video. I hadn't had one of those in about 3 or 4 weeks, and thought I would go ahead and do one. I had some really pretty cool ones, different ones, where the hauls, mainly the ones for the hauls, I like to do a lot of different pictures. I'll take pictures of, I don't know, up to 5 or 6 things sometimes, and then I'll decide which one I want to use for my thumbnail. So check that out today. It's not a real long video. I'm not sure what we're having for dinner. I've been so busy doing all this other stuff, and hadn't even talked really what we hadn't decided anything for dinner. Really, we're trying to watch our money though, so in case, you know, because like I said, this is going to be a new expense. And I'm figuring, you know, quite a bit for a month, you know, so we probably won't be eating out hardly any at all. We weren't already, you know, eating out much. Okay, here's the jokes, everybody. Let me get my glasses. Judge, silence in court. The next person who laughs again will be thrown out of court. Accused. Judge, I wasn't talking to you. He thought I'd try. Bobby, what is the difference between a lemon, an elephant, and a bag of cement? Ray, I give up. What's the difference? Bobby, you can squeeze a lemon, but you can't squeeze an elephant. Ray, what about the bag of cement? Bobby, I just threw that in to make it hard. So, our thought of the day is from E.A. Buccianeri. Brushstrokes of a gadfly. Where do they get this stuff? Y'all heard of that? I never heard of that. Evil influence is like a nicotine patch. You cannot help but absorb what sticks to you. Okay. Hi. Hi, baby. What you doing? I know you can't be hungry. I just gave you something. Okay, let's see. I think I'll try this one on trivia time and see what it says. General. Let's see what it's like. Okay, how many basic senses does a human have? 2, 8, 7, 5. I wish it was 8, like super hearing or something like that, you know. I don't know. But it's 5. Right. Oh, this man. It's 5. Where does it say anything about? Here it is. There are 5 basic human senses: touch, sight, hearing, smell, and taste. These sensing organs associated with each sense send information to the brain to help us understand and perceive the world around us. Okay. How many days in total are there in January? Well, it's 28, 29, 30, 31 in January? It's 31. That one doesn't. It won't write on this one part of the pad for some reason. Okay, yeah, it's 31. I mean, come on. How many cents is in a dime? 4, 2, 5, 10. Can you count up to? It's 10. Man, come on. If this gets any easier, I'll have to do something else. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to go to another one. This one's how many lungs do humans have? 4, 2, 1, 3. It'd be nice if you had 4 of them, you know. But I'm not. Come on. That's goofy. Let's try. I saw one up here. Let's try this one. We got 3 of them, and 2 of them were goofy. Play quiz. Which tech company is nicknamed Big Blue? Microsoft, Dell, Acer, IBM. I don't know this. So, it's already a little better than the other one. I don't know. I'm going to go with Dell. I don't know. No, it's IBM. Big Blue is a nickname used since the 1980s for the International Business Machines Corporation. Okay. What tech company was a bookseller before becoming an e-commerce giant? IBM, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. I think I know this. I think I've heard this before. And I think it's Amazon, actually. Yeah, hard to believe, huh? Founded in 1994, Amazon began as an online bookstore and has since evolved into one of the world's largest and most influential technology companies. You can get anything you want there, you know? Anything you want. Which of these forms of communication is text-based? Phone call, intercom, video conference, email. Which one of these is text-based? Okay. Okay, phone call, intercom, video conference. Excuse me. Oh, God. Sorry. Email. Need to get some more sleep. I think it's email, really, you know. That's right. Electronic mail, commonly shortened to email, is a communication method that uses electronic devices to deliver text-based messages across computer networks. Which of these is a telecommunications device also known as a beeper? Pager, cell phone, UHF radio, smartphone. I know all too well what these are because when I was a district manager with Coca-Cola, we didn't have cell phones back then. We had beepers. But the problem was you'd be out in the country somewhere, driving to some country store to check a problem they've got or something, and you'd get that beep, and you'd have to find a phone. That was a problem sometimes. Especially if it's something urgent, you know. I mean, you know, you're out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, yeah, it's a pager. A pager, also known as a beeper or bleeper, never heard it called a bleeper, is a wireless telecommunication device that receives and displays alphanumeric or voice messages. One-way pagers can only receive messages, while response pagers and two-way pagers can also acknowledge, reply to, and originate messages using an internal transmitter. Life's good is the slogan of what tech company? Google, HP, Apple, LG Electronics. Well, I'm not, you know, I've heard this before, but I wasn't really for sure which one, but I think I know. LG, life's good. I don't know if that's what it really stands for, but with brave optimism to ensure that life's good for everyone around the world, LG Electronics introduced its active red color and digital logo play and made its slogan, "Life's Good," more iconic. Okay. Okay, two more. What did dial-up technology use to connect to the internet? Satellite links, microwave radiation, radio signals, telephone lines. Y'all remember that when it connected to that? I don't know, it sounded kind of like that. Satellite links, microwave radiation, radio signals, telephone lines. I used telephone. It was really crazy too. Took a while sometimes, seems like. Yes, dial-up is a technology used to connect the internet using standard telephone lines. It works by dialing a specific phone number provided by an internet service provider and establishing a connection through a modem. Huh. Okay, one more. Which of these is the manufacturer of the Galaxy series cell phones? I know this for sure. Apple, Motorola, Samsung, Xiaomi. Z-I-A-O-M-I. I never heard of that one. Have y'all? Xiaomi? It's Samsung, because that's what I've got. Samsung Galaxy is a Samsung Electronics flagship line of Android smartphones and tablets. Okay, I got 9 right and 1 wrong today. Those first were a little, really not, you know, very hard to get, but I'm glad I changed over. I think this one was a little more interesting anyway, so I hope y'all enjoyed today's trivia time and morning coffee break. If you did, I hope you'll press that like button. Also subscribe if you haven't already, and share this out and hit that so you get all my videos as soon as they come out. Everybody, I hope you have a great morning and a great day. Definitely check out Making Thumbnails video later today, everyone. Bye, everyone, and God bless.